Wisconsin men's soccer. A two-time first-team All-Midwest pick, that was before the Big Ten had soccer. Mark Laporte was a four-year starter for the Badgers and a three-time team MVP. In 1981, Laporte captained Wisconsin to the #1 ranked defense in the nation and claimed its first ever NCAA tournament berth. He still holds the school record for most saves in a game and ranks in UW's top 10 in goals against, saves, and shutouts. Here's a special message about Mark Laporte.
Hi everybody, I'm Dominic Laporte. This is my brother Michael Laporte. We are two of Mark's children. Wanted to say how excited we are that everybody's here tonight, and Dad, especially you. This is so amazing. It's such a cool accomplishment. We really couldn't be prouder of you.
Yeah, such a huge accomplishment. And just thinking over the years, all of your lists of accomplishments, one that stands out to me the most up until this evening was when you were inducted into the Wisconsin Soccer Hall of Fame. I must have been 10 or 12 years old at the time, and I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. One of my most fondest memories of soccer with you growing up was when you took me and Dom to the Italian Community Center to watch Italy win the World Cup in 2006. I had already fallen in love with soccer before that, but it really had just cemented my love for the game, and I have you to thank for that. So thank you, and congratulations. We couldn't be more proud.
Yeah, I know from my side, at least, one of my fondest memories from growing up around a soccer family is the debriefs that you and I would have after our games, like when I was in high school and even playing right before that and after that. We would do just like breaking down all the different plays that we saw, things I could have done differently, and it was just really first coach. Ops has a grandson. He's got a few things that he wants to say.
I'm so glad you come to my Badger soccer camp.
Yeah.
I love you so much.
Hi, I'm Mark's dad, and I'd like to just tell you about my son Mark. One of my proudest moments was when my son Mark and my other son Chris, they were both goalies, and at one time they played against each other, UWM against UW in Madison. It was here in Milwaukee at the Bavarian Inn. They had a huge crowd, and word got out that I was the father of two starting goalies. And during that game, it was a very close game, and people were asking me, who do you want to win? And I said, I'm not saying, but I hope that they play a good game, and they did. And the score was 1-0, but I'm not going to tell you who won, because the memory in my mind stays there forever. I was very proud of Chris and Mark, and they went on to become fathers of several children and had a good working relationship and introduced a lot of young kids into soccer. For that moment, I'm very proud of. Thank you for listening to me.
We are proud to welcome Mark Laporte to the UW Athletics Hall of Fame.
I do what I can. A source told me that video, a couple hours ago, a source told me that video might produce the first gotcha moment of the night.
Yeah,
we got some generations coming.
I didn't see that coming. I'm glad my dad is here. I wish my daughter Elise could have been on the video. She lives in New York, but she's here. That was great, Tom and Michael. And Teddy.
Awesome. I understand this was soccer was kind of a love at first sight for you. Can you take us back to your 9-year-old self when it all started?
Yeah, as in most metropolitan areas, soccer sprouted from the urban areas because of the ethnic background. So I happened to go to grade school with these 3 guys that were the sons of an Italian immigrant. So they got me into soccer. I was basketball, baseball, flag football, but soccer just kind of bit me at a young age.
And it was almost like you were destined to be a goalkeeper too, in the way I understand.
Either destined or relegated, it depends on one's skill level. But
Tell Coach Wander, right, was a major influence, right? Jim Wander with you. Tell us about it.
Jim's here, so it's great when Jim was my youth coach, so for club soccer as a kid, and then I was very fortunate that 2 years before I graduated high school, Jim was hired as an associate head coach at Wisconsin. So I was very fortunate. Jim recruited me to come to Madison. I owe everything to Jim. I mean, he was my youth coach. He was a goalkeeper. His specialty was goalkeeping. And by the way, Jim is the only, he was the head coach of the Badgers national championship team. So.
Absolutely. 1995, as a matter of fact, yeah. Did you expect to start right away? Were you surprised? I mean, you got in there from the get-go, correct?
No, I was fortunate in that there were no incumbent goalkeepers, but we had 3 very good goalkeepers, and they're still great friends. They're still great friends. Anybody that's either a goalkeeper or in a single position, you develop a sense of camaraderie, even though it's a friendly rivalry. So to this day, it's like 43 years later, and I'm still very close with the guys. I had no idea until the first game against Northern Illinois that I was going to start.
But you also have a record that still stands today, and there are a couple of Hall of Famers here who can make that claim. Take us back to a 17-save effort against St. Louis. First, maybe we should provide context. What is the normal number of saves that you would normally be required?
Maybe 4 or 5
Okay.
shots on goal, saves.
So with 17, you had to have some pretty tough ones in there too.
Yeah, I'm proud of that. I mean, first of all, it's the guys, because the guys pulled some shots off the goal line. We were playing St. Louis University in St. Louis. They were a top 5 team. I mean, that was our year that we broke out. But I'm proud of the fact that, it was a shutout, it was a team effort, and it didn't give up any goals, and we tied, so.
That was, you mentioned it, that was the year you broke through. When did you all as a team realize that, hey, we've got a little something here?
I don't think, the guys are here. We ever had any sense of proportion. We were just guys, non-scholarship, varsity. We were just playing for the love of the game. But I think it was, my dad talked about the game that I played against my brother. And that was the first game of the season, my junior year, that 1981. And Dean Durst is here. Dean fired off a 35-yarder over past my brother, and he still hasn't gotten over that. But then we got a team here. So that was just an amazing run. We ended up playing Indiana, lost 1-0 in the Big Ten championship game. That got us a bid to the tournament. 2 weeks later, we played Indiana in the tournament, and they kind of taught us a lesson 5-1.
Yeah, well, that's all right. Nick Pasquarello, who obviously a good friend of yours, you've known him for years and years, but he said that you and your teammates, we hope you all take great pride in advancing the sport, which you did, right? Because now varsity level, and it's obviously there's a great tradition there. You give yourself a little chance to feel proud about that.
Yeah, we are. I think all the guys. I mean, we have almost 10 teammates from 80, 81. And again, we had no sense of proportion. We were just guys playing soccer. But now we look back at what Jim Wander then built into a national powerhouse. So in hindsight, there's a lot of Badger pride for soccer.
And probably keeping close tabs on the current group as well.
Yes, I'm close to Coach Neal.
Yes,
yeah.
That's awesome. Anybody you'd like to thank here tonight, Mark?
Well, I think we met, the guys. How many guys are here? But it really all begins and ends with Bill Redden. So Bill Redden was the founder of the Badger soccer program. The lessons he taught us transcended the soccer field. He was a teacher. He was a professor. But the lessons he taught us transcended soccer. His son Howie, great friend of mine, is here to share, a former teammate and friend. So Bill Redden, in addition to the guys, I want to thank my family for putting up with me. And my dad, 91-year-old Dante Laporta, is still here.
the program to beyond varsity stats, a really good program, and you will always be remembered for having a big part of that. So congratulations to you. Take care.